In 2 Samuel chapter 5, King David marches an army to the city of Jerusalem and captures it. But why was Israel's capital city occupied by Canaanites some 400 years after the conquest of the Promised Land? What did an archeological discovery made in 1867 reveal about the manner in which David's soldiers may have infiltrated this seemingly unconquerable city? Let's find out. The year is 1070 BCE. As King David and his soldiers approach the city of Jerusalem from the south, they are no doubt thinking about the battle ahead. David has been ruling as king over Israel for 7 years, but his capital is the city of Hebron, about 19 miles south. The city of Jerusalem is occupied by the Jebusites. Centuries earlier, during the Israelite conquest of the Promised Land, the men of Judah fought against Jerusalem and captured it. They struck it with the sword and set the city on fire. However, the army continued to sweep south, and it appears that they did not immediately establish garrisons to hold on to their conquests. Evidently, while they were fighting elsewhere, the Jebusites regained control of the city and began to rebuild it. Now, some 400 years later, David is determined to eliminate this pocket of Canaanite resistance once and for all. But he faces a great challenge. By ancient standards of warfare, the city of Jerusalem seems to be a nearly impregnable stronghold. It is built on a high ridge of land, protected by steep valley walls on 3 sides. Far from being afraid of David and his army, the Jebusites are so confident in their defenses that they taunt him, saying, "You will never come in here. Even the blind and the lame will drive you away." In fact, according to the historian Josephus, they actually bring blind and lame people up on top of the walls to serve as the city's defenders, as a further insult to David. David makes this offer to his soldiers: "Whoever is the first to strike the Jebusites will become chief and prince." A brave warrior named Joab accepts the challenge. David also tells his soldiers, those who attack the Jebusites should go through the water tunnel to strike down both the lame and the blind who are hateful to David. Although it cannot be proven with any certainty, a popular view is that these words may reveal something about the way Joab and the soldiers were able to conquer the city. Inside a natural cave in the hillside below the city's east gate was the spring of Gihon. This was the primary source of water for those living in the city. In 1867, British archaeologist Charles Warren began excavating in this area. From a view directly above this part of the city, we can crudely outline what he unearthed. He discovered a water channel running back from the cave where the spring originated. After a distance of approximately 66 feet or 20 meters, it ended in a small pool. Could this be the water tunnel David referred to? Above the pool that the water tunnel led to was a vertical shaft that extended upward approximately 36 feet or 11 meters. This naturally occurring opening in the rocks came to be known as Warren's Shaft, named for the man who discovered it. Those who visit Jerusalem today can view it from the top looking down, as shown in this image. From this spot, the theory has long been that the city inhabitants would let down containers by rope to draw water from the pool below. More recent studies cast some doubt on that theory. But even if this opening was not used to draw water, it could still have been used by the Israelite soldiers to infiltrate the tunnels below the city. From this point, a curved tunnel led around to the bottom of a staircase cut into the stone. This stepped tunnel rose steeply into the middle of the city near the east gate. Did Joab and his men infiltrate the city by this route? No one can say for certain. But we can enjoy imagining what such a daring raid may have looked like. Imagine Joab and a few Israelite soldiers, likely under the cover of darkness, entering the cave, while others hid within striking distance of the city gate directly above. What was going through their minds as they waded through the water? The Gihon Spring did not provide a constant, predictable flow of water. Sometimes it would gush rapidly, and other times it would slow to nearly a trickle. How high was the water level in the tunnel? What would happen if a sudden gush caused it to quickly rise? Next, they start climbing up the nearly vertical opening in the rock. Some who have studied this account dismiss the possibility that anyone could have accomplished this without modern climbing equipment. But Charles Warren himself climbed up the shaft when he first discovered it, with the help of some boards that he used to create a makeshift ladder. David's men were professional soldiers, likely in peak physical condition. And there is no reason to think that this was a spur-of-the-moment plan, since the Israelites likely had much first-hand knowledge of the city of Jerusalem. As they emerged from the top of the shaft, they would be in the second tunnel that followed a curved path, likely due to the fact that the builders created it by joining voids that already existed in the porous limestone rock. Finally, they would reach the bottom of the steep, slanted tunnel with steps cut into the stone. With each step they took, the danger that they might encounter an enemy soldier increased. Did they hurry up to the top? Or did they move slowly and carefully, trying to be as quiet as possible? What would you have done? What did they find when they reached the top of the stairs and emerged into the middle of the sleeping city? Were they able to make their way to the city gate, open it from the inside, and let the Israelite soldiers come pouring through? Were the overconfident Jebusites caught completely by surprise by this bold strategy? The Bible does not provide such details, so we cannot be sure. One thing we do know is that David successfully captured this stronghold of Zion and established it as his capital, after which it came to be called the City of David. 2 Samuel 5:10 concludes the account by stating, "Thus David became greater and greater, and Jehovah, the God of armies, was with him."